In the previous video, we had studied about the basic structure of a Java program. In this video, we'll study about the OOP features or the object-oriented features of Java. So, the object-oriented features of Java are encapsulation, inheritance, and third one is polymorphism. Okay, so we'll see what all these things mean one by one. Okay, so encapsulation basically provides a layer of abstraction that separates the individual entities of the program, okay, the variables and methods based on objects. Okay, so here object has its methods and variables inside this thing encapsulated. These are variables and methods which are encapsulated, or you can say a capsule is formed around this thing. So anything or any other entity that wants to access these objects can only access through publicly available methods. Okay, so there are different types of access specifiers that tell you whether how and whether there is access available to these methods or not. Okay, so the different types of access specifiers available are public, private, and protected. So these are kind of levels that tell you how you can access the variables or the methods inside this object. And the communication takes place through message passing between objects. So in object oriented, remember that in encapsulated form there exist variables and methods. So this is basically done for separation of concerns, and it also eases the process of debugging. So if you are finding any problems, then rather than going through the whole flow of the code, you can only fix the specific object or the part where the error is coming. Okay, so if you are writing, like you can say, a game, okay, assume you are writing a bird shooter game, and there are two entities involved here. One is the bird and other is the shooter or the gun. Okay, so if you are facing a problem with the gun object, okay, like it's not firing or it's not firing properly, so then what you could do is you could first debug through the gun object, and after that you can check whether the interaction between the two objects is properly running or not. Okay, so this is just an example of how encapsulation can help. Okay, now secondly, moving on to inheritance. So what inheritance does is it allows code to inherit properties from one object to another. So one object to another object. So like object A has some properties which are inherited in object B. So this way it allows code reusability. Okay, so you do not need to rewrite the code again that you have previously written. Like if you had written some drivers, or you can say something, some features for a certain program, and now you want to inherit those features or aspect in some other program. So what you could do is you could inherit that code in your other object. Okay, so this is how inheritance works. And in inheritance there are different types of inheritance here. Okay, so there is like single inheritance, there is multi-level inheritance, and there is also one multiple inheritance that is not actually supported by Java. So in lieu of that there is something called as interface that is available. Okay, so just remember that thing. We will get into details of inheritance when we get to that chapter. Okay, and finally there is polymorphism. So polymorphism is like changing the way how your code works either in runtime or at compile time. So that is like, you know, kind of camouflaging your code. Okay, or making your code do multiple things. Okay, so like for example, if you have to compute the area, okay, so the formula for area differs based on what kind of you can say object you are giving it. So area can be of a circle, polygon, or whatever shapes you want. Okay, so anything and everything. Okay, so based on the shape your parameters will either change. Okay, or what you could do is at the runtime you could decide which function to execute. Okay, so these two types of things can be done here. So this is called as polymorphism. So here if you are finding the area of a circle, then you would need only the radius, okay, and if you are doing it for a rectangle, you will need length and breadth. Sorry, area, for that you need length and breadth. So the name of the function is the same, okay, it's called area only, but here we dynamically understand based on the parameter that you want to compute the area of a rectangle here in the second case, and in the first case you want to compute the area of a circle. So depending on the parameters, when some decisions is taken, it is known as method overloading, okay, and it is a part of polymorphism. And whenever you are doing this thing in two different classes, okay, here there is a base class of, you can say, area, and from that you have inherited to first to the circle, and from here you have inherited to the, you can say, what is that, rectangle or anything, and both these things have a function called area, okay, area. So this is known as method overriding, okay. Here what has happened is area class, or you can say area interface, was inherited by circle as well as rectangle, but both of these shapes in you can say implement their own method based on their own parameters, okay. So here even if the name is same, but what has happened is they have implemented it in two different ways. So this is known as overriding, okay, and this is also a part of polymorphism. So these are the object oriented features of the Java programming language. The same features are also available in C++ as well, okay, but only difference in C++ is it has a multiple inheritance here, and here in the polymorphism part it also has something called as a operator overloading, which allows us to define different operations for operators. So like in C you have something called as a plus operator, which can be overloaded to work on strings. Then you can also load some unary operators and stuff, okay. So that is an access part that is available in C++, but the Java designers chose to skip those things for making their design less ambiguous and avoiding problems, okay. So some parts are removed out of this thing, and this is how, or these are the features of OOP that are available in Java. We will discuss these features as we get along in different types of videos whenever we will need all these things, concepts, okay. In the upcoming video we will see about writing our first basic calculator program, okay. For now we will end it here. Thank you.